say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose red stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's breath glared, the bombs bursting near gave proof through the night.
Great country. Together, we will make America strong again. We will make America wealthy again. We will make America prosper again. We will make America proud again. We will make America safe again. And we will make America great again. Thank you. God bless you. Thank you. Thank you.
With victory and peace, may the heaven-rescued land.
Let's start. One of the things the president said when he was a candidate is, you put me in the Oval Office and I will cut as much red tape. And dramatic deregulation is certainly being accomplished.
That's right. It's the most dramatic deregulation in American history. You know, on the campaign trail, he famously promised to cut two new regulations for every one that's put on the books.
Ambitious.
And the numbers are in. I mean, he cut 22 for every new one put on the books. It is the largest reduction in the Federal Registry in American history. And so, look, even Bush, who was a free market guy, supposedly, the Federal Registry grew under Bush. It grew under Obama. It grew under Clinton. And for those of us that have really understood what has been putting American business less competitive over the last decade, regulation is the true tax on American business.
And I can't tell you how many people I know in business just love the fact that they're cutting a lot of red tape.
And it lowers the cost of compliance. It makes us more competitive internationally. And this is something that it's really hard to see up front. But you see when a business has less compliance cost, has to deal with less lawyers and less regulators, that's where you're going to start the economy moving again.
500 days in, historic economic success. You look at it, 223,000 jobs added in May, the unemployment at 3.8%, 62.7% labor participation, GDP estimate 4.7%.
By the Atlanta Fed. Unbelievable. So, look, the New York Times said it best. We've run out of words to describe how good these job numbers are. But not only that, here's something that needs to be talked about. Record low black unemployment. Record low Latino unemployment. The largest tax cut in American history. The repealing of the individual mandate tax, which really isn't talked about a lot, which was a tax on my generation. So think about it. You're a 29-year-old. You're still trying to get your life going. And next thing you know, the government is paying you because you have to buy expensive and pricey health insurance. President Trump got rid of that. It is the healthiest, strongest economy of my generation, if not of the last 50 years.
And just imagine the impact President Trump is having on the judiciary.
Oh, my goodness.
1 in 8 appellate judges now are from the Trump administration.
It's totally amazing. And so if you look at the verticals that the left thought they were going to control, they thought they were going to control the media, education, politics, and then the courts. And really what they've been most upset about is the fact that President Trump is reshaping the federal judiciary for a lifetime. Like you said, 1 out of 8 justices now appointed by him, and we can't forget the amazing Justice Neil Gorsuch.
Okay, we're 500 days in, still no wall, still no trillion-dollar infrastructure.
We need it. Look, the president has a willingness and a pen ready to sign these bills. We need Republicans in Congress to step up and fulfill the Trump promises and the Trump agenda. I will say this, though. Where he has been able to make decisions, he's the first president in American history to be attacked by the media for keeping his promises. You look at moving the embassy to Jerusalem, withdrawing from TPP, the massive deregulations we talked about, the canceling of the Iran deal. When the chips are down, President Trump says, what did I say on the trail? What did I promise voters? Because he's not owned by donors. He's not owned by elites. He was put there by voters, the American people.
So today marks 500 days. He still has 962 left in his term.
No. What are you talking about? He has another 4 after that because he's going to get convincingly reelected.
All right. Charlie Kirk, thank you very much.
Thank you.
The American people deserve to know. In response to the strong stand that President Trump has taken, Beijing is pursuing a comprehensive and coordinated campaign to undermine support for the president, our agenda, and our nation's most cherished ideals. As we speak, Beijing is employing a whole-of-government approach to advance its influence and benefit its interests. It's employing this power in more proactive and coercive ways to interfere in the domestic policies of this country and to interfere in the politics of the United States.
An allegation against China.
Regrettably, we found that China has been attempting to interfere in our upcoming 2018 election.
President Trump tells world leaders gathered at the UN Security Council China is targeting his administration.
They do not want me or us to win because I am the first president ever to challenge China on trade.
U.S. intelligence officials say
President Trump pointed to a 4-page insert in a Des Moines Register, paid for openly by the state-run China Daily, which argued that Trump's tariff-based trade policy would hurt Iowa and soybeans farmers, making it harder for them to export to China. Trump mentioned that they have ads that are like editorials. The Chinese government has continued to invest in propaganda and are exploring new ways of insinuating CCP influence into foreign language media content. CCP censorship and propaganda are now a global phenomenon. The CCP has used economic power to buy political influence, sometimes to the detriment of the United States. Such activities ultimately pose a threat to U.S. values and institutions, whether through limiting free speech in the classroom or currying favor with the business or political elites in ways that are harmful to U.S. interest.
Bonda Brian Ross.
The Chinese People's Liberation Army has more than 2 million personnel. But it is the 1,000 or so in this nondescript building in Shanghai that may pose the biggest threat to the U.S. This is the headquarters of the Army's secretive unit number 61398, where, according to the new report today by the Mandiant security firm, English-speaking computer experts spend their days stealing secrets from U.S. companies and hacking into government sites.
This is an espionage operation run by the Chinese People's Liberation Army, and it's targeting a broad swath of Western organizations.
Among the most troubling targets, American infrastructure sites, including water treatment plants, transportation control centers, pipelines, and power grids.
The only reason you would want to get into the control system for the power grid is to cause damage, destruction, and disruption.
Among the many corporate targets of the Chinese hackers, according to U.S. officials, Lockheed Martin, the country's largest defense contractor and the maker of the F-35 jet fighter. U.S. officials say, not surprisingly, the Chinese version of the plane has some distinct similarities.
It's costing, according to U.S. intelligence, hundreds of billions of dollars and thousands of U.S. jobs every year.
The White House today confirmed the severity, although not the details, of the Chinese cyber espionage.
We have repeatedly raised our concerns at the highest levels about cyber theft with senior Chinese officials.
But China remains in denial, according to ABC.
It's time for all of us to remember that we are one people with one great American destiny. And that whether we are black or brown or white, we all bleed the same red blood of patriots. And we all share the same glorious freedoms of our magnificent country. We are all made by the same Almighty God. As long as we remember these truths,
vote for Trump. Vote for America's future. Vote for freedom of speech. Vote for justice. We need a strong leader like Trump.